It's going great.
Nice.
It's going great.
In Saudi Arabia, we also call summer vacation houses chalet.
Okay. We call them, in Danish, we'd say just summer house. Well, and, if you travel around, the US or Canada, Australia, other English speaking countries, they've got all different kinds of names. So
Yeah.
this is this is basically quite a small cottage, but very cozy, very nice.
Malcolm just dropped. That reminds me a little bit because I was trying to talk to one of my colleagues once, and I'm like, you know what a foyer is? Fo foyer? And he's like, oh, he was a little confused at the beginning, like, the entrance to the house. And he's like, there was a French way of pronouncing it, and I was pronouncing it different in the French way, and he had no idea what I was saying. Now I have to pronounce it the American way, and I forgot how
Ah,
to pronounce it in
okay.
different. But what kind of coffee mug do you have today? You have
Okay,
your
it
IKEA?
seems Malcolm is having problems.
Yeah,
No, it's the not IKEA mug. Uh, the not IKEA mug beach house edition. Yeah,
nice. Welcome back, Malcolm.
is he
No, we
there at
can't hear
all?
him. I can't hear or see him, but
Okay,
I
but
could
your
see that he's
connection
here.
is good.
Oh, did you see?
My connection should be okay as well.
You made a post yesterday that
Oh, he's off again.
welcome, he's
People are
back.
asking.
No, we can't hear you.
Maybe he's back.
I could see him, but I
Maybe
can't
he's back.
hear him.
No picture, no sound. Oh, could you see him?
I can see him, but I cannot hear him.
Mm,
He's talking to someone though.
okay.
But
Is
you
he?
made a post yesterday about Russia's on fire.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's another one of those long range strikes, but it happens almost every day. But this was just outside Moscow, a huge warehouse. And I'd say the plumes of smoke crossing in above Moscow were massive, massive. Yeah, but now all this is continuing. It's an everyday occurrence, and
There's a lot.
it'll just create
You-
more and more problems.
I was wondering if it was something that needed to be covered right away, but you just answered that. That was it. But basically, at this point, it's just a routine.
Yeah, because it's a Yeah, it's new that they have started to hit these warehouses, but it's because they also distribute for the Russian armed forces. So that's why it's basically known as Amazon of Russia. This wildberry, big company, and but they also distribute for the armed forces, and that's why it's been targeted. And they've targeted two or three of the major warehouses, and with some effect, with some effect. Now, but also the strikes against the refineries is also ongoing, and that is happening, inside all of of the European part of Russia up to the Ural Mountains, but then also a few strikes on the major refineries in Siberia. Yeah, it's getting more and
How
more,
how how
and
badly damaged are
it's
these
getting
refineries at the moment? Are they
tough
out
for
of
Russia
commission at the
because
moment?
not all of them, not all of them, but especially the major refinery in Moscow that was hit about that'd be 4 weeks ago or a month. That was really hit badly, and the estimates go that it will only be able to come online next year. It'll be like 8 to 10 months
Wow.
to build it back up again. But yeah, so that's significant. But then again, I mean, the Ukrainians can strike it again, and there is just no sign that the Russian air defense is working. There have been reporting that they're moving air defense systems from the high north, from the Arctic areas, where they
Mhm.
protected the military bases, etc., and then moving those. But again, for the Russians, what do they prioritize? Do they prioritize the the oil refineries? Do they prioritize depots? Do
Good
they
morning.
but what is happening all the time is, hey there, Malcolm. The
Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Ukrainians are
Can you hear
Yes.
me?
stretching the air
Yes, yes, yes,
defense
yes, yes.
resources.
Ah,
We
okay.
can hear you and
All
we
right.
can see you finally.
All right. Well,
So
in
we were just
fact,
talking a bit about Ukraine, and I'm
yeah,
just
I saw that.
finishing that sentence now. And
Just
the thing I'll just say there is the Ukrainians are not dumb, so they're actually also hitting the air defense systems. That
yeah,
just doesn't get as much public attention, but
good.
that's why the Russian air defense is really, really stretched.
Okay.
Malcolm is here. Good to see you, Mark.
Yes.
Good
Let's
Well,
morning to
go.
you.
sorry, I had to change countries and locations. As you can see, I'm sitting someplace awesome and elegant because I am heading back to the states here tomorrow. So this time tomorrow, we will see whether I'm on an airplane or not. So you might be running the show. But I wanted to start off. I'm glad you had that period to banter. I did start the show, and what we're going to do is we will re edit this. So, good morning. Hi, I'm Malcolm Nance. Welcome to Black Man Spy. Day number 10, reset back to day number 144. We've actually done a perfect count since February 27th, 12 noon on the 28th. 2026. It has been 144 accurately counted days since that this war has started, but we are on day 10 of this new operational campaign. And if you heard the banter, that was Jacob Carsbo, Danish intelligence officer extraordinaire, Wajeeh, the gay lion from Minneapolis, with us too. I am just got my first double espresso of the morning, so I'm getting ready of the day. It's late afternoon for me. But I've been dragging it. So uh, I have an IKEA cup from this chateau that I'm at. So listen, guys, crazy night last night again, as you all know. The price of oil has gone up. Waji, do you have access to that while we're sitting here
Yes.
talking about the American attacks? The war continues. The war has restarted and 10 days ago, and it is getting to a dividing point, and we're going to talk about that in a short bit. Waja, what's the price of oil?
WTI crude is at 84.40. Brent crude is at 91.08.
91. There it goes, baby. It's going back to 100. And you know what? I think these prices are still a little low. I think they're fighting them. I think they're fighting these. Gasoline in the United States, on average, is back over $4 a gallon. So I
Yes.
guess Trump thinks that he's going to win this midterm by being strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Well, thank you, Roger, for the price of oil. Now that we know what this war is being fought over, let's move on to the actual significant activities and spectacular penetrations. As you know, the United States continued its attacks every night for the last 10 days. We're going to have strikes again tonight, which will bring us to 11 days of attacks, and there is no end in sight. Most of the stuff we're going to talk about today is political because the military component of this is the United States just striking all over southern and southwestern Iran. Same target sets, right? Bushehr, though, had multiple. Bushehr, where the Bushehr nuclear power plant is, it is also a major naval base. It is also an oil infrastructure port. It has a nuclear power plant there. It has a giant IRGC presence there. It was one of the biggest targets that was bombed last night. Multiple explosions heard in Bushehr, Bandar Abbas. The entirety of this campaign is to cut Bandar Abbas off from the rest of Iran. I don't know how they're going to do it. I've already read not only have they bypassed on the roads, a lot of the traffic is just flowing in there like this war isn't even happening. So Bushehr,
Yeah.
Bandar Abbas, Ahvaz is still being struck. The IRGC targets around some of the cities on the Iraqi border are still being struck by U.S. high mobility multiple rocket launchers from Kuwait. So those strikes continue. Otherwise, the air campaign is actually increasing. U.S. fighters have arrived in Jordan, but more significantly, up to 75 tanker aircraft are now back in theater from the United States. They are in Israel, they are in Saudi Arabia, they are in Jordan. They removed them from Al Udeid in Qatar. And we talked about this yesterday. The MQ-4C Triton drone, which is a very long-range, high-altitude, high-duration drone, almost $1 billion platform, has to fly out of Sicily across the entire length of the Mediterranean just to get to Israel. Then it's got to fly another 2 hours to get to the Persian Gulf, so 5 hours to get on station. But that's all the normal stuff. In return, the IRGC counterattacked last night, doing the same thing that it's always done. It is striking principally Kuwait and Bahrain with multiple attacks, and they also attacked a tanker, which we talked about yesterday, a Saudi-owned tanker, which was a Greek-owned, Saudi-chartered tanker, is aflame. And that ship's going to be a total loss. The crew abandoned ship. The ship is on fire, and it has been on fire for the last 2 days. So that's what's going on the Iranians component of it, on the Strait of Hormuz. So, guys, how are you this morning?
Oof. Tired a
Oof.
little bit, being honest.
Good.
Nothing to say? No, nothing commentary
uh,
about the war?
I mean, everyone is
I will
scrambling.
say on Kuwait. Go ahead, Wajeeh.
Everyone is scrambling.
Go ahead, Wajeeh.
I've said this. I've said this before. Once the attack starts, once Iran starts attacking very important sources like the water desalination plant, like the electric plant, you will see actually people scrambling, trying to get this war to pause again. Not to end, to pause. I'll say pause because I know it's not going to end anytime soon this way. But you see the Pakistanis now making phone calls. You see the Qataris now making phone calls. The Omanis now making phone calls. They're all scrambling because they see it. They see the trump card being pulled. And that's something that no one is talking about. Like no one is telling you, oh, the Iranians have pulled their trump card. Halas. That's like they're hitting the desalination plants and they're starting country by country. They don't go all countries at one. They start desalination plant. If they go all of the Gulf countries at once, they turn everyone against them. But if
Yeah.
they target one country at a time, they're staying a little smart because they are controlling exactly how much pressure they put on these Gulf states. They're being very measured.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Just FYI, there's a little delay on all of us because Jacob's up in the North Country, I'm in Europe, and Wajeeh, you're sitting probably where there's the best Wi-Fi. The Qataris have proposed a 10-day ceasefire that the United States would stop fighting, the Iranians would stop attacks. Now, here's where the details, we need to talk about the details and what the geopolitical impact of this is in relation to the details of this war are number one, first, everybody stops shooting. Halas. We understand that. Number two would be the Strait of Hormuz opens on the Omani side going in and the Iranian side coming out. So what it would do is now I'm sure you all can figure this out. Okay. This is a desperate trick to get Trump in a position to where he said he opened the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah.
Right. And the Iranians are making it clear there's only one way in and out of the
Yeah.
Strait of Hormuz now. Ask that burning Saudi tanker. Right. How's that going for him? You got a choice. You can be a flame or you can come in the, multi-pass traffic separation scheme with the IRGC. And so Qatar has made this proposal. I'm sure the Pakistanis are talking, everybody's talking, but it's becoming very clear. The Iranians see the upside to not playing this game anymore because they can take it. And, by letting Qatar make this proposal, it's great. But, we said this 2 months ago that Iran could go a year like this. Iran could easily go a year. This fantasy
Yeah.
Washington has that I don't know who the person is, but I suspect Waleed Faris is one of them. Okay, you guys might recall this guy. He's a Lebanese Christian American, and I think he's Lebanese. Yeah, he is. And he has
Yeah.
been a big proponent of Iran can't take it. And I call him the American Ahmed Jalabi. These guys who are trying to talk us into it and to show that they know more than Trump and to harbor Trump's fantasies that they're 1 centimeter from breaking. And all Trump has to do is hammer them one more time, and they'll go, "Oh, we're surrendering with tears in our eyes, Mr. Trump." I know we say this joke every day, but it's true. There is an entire class
Mhm.
of people, General Jack Keane on Fox News, and others who are saying Iran can't take it. We have the strongest military. Everyone seems to have forgotten the first 40 days of this war.
Right.
We hit Iran with everything. Yeah, Jacob.
And get General Kellogg. If we just take the Kag Island, then they will surrender.
Kellogg
People
said that?
without a clue. But it's quite telling. I noticed this morning in the Washington Post there was a leak for an intelligence assessment that said, even bombing Iran won't take anything, and that's what we've been saying for 144
Next
days.
item on the
And
list.
okay, it's on there. Yeah, exactly. But it's obvious, and we've been saying it for 144 days, and that's how it is. And there are these fantasy people that think otherwise, but I'm sorry, it won't happen.
And
There's no
that
evidence behind it.
let's move on to that. The Washington Post, this is 2 days in a row somebody's getting fired at the Washington Post. Okay? They're doing that journalism shit, and that when Jeff Bezos took over, that became
They're using their brain common sense type thing.
yeah, but they're putting it on paper. That's called journalism. And they are saying things that Donald Trump is not going to like. And today's article was a U.S. intelligence assessment was drafted up for the White House, which said the U.S. intelligence community believes that bombing Iran will have no zero, zip zero, nada, zero impact on the Iranians' ability to make a decision about the Strait of Hormuz and that it will continuing to bomb will fail. Right? It says it will not move the regime. And so that's the combined assessment. I don't know if it's a Directorate of National Intelligence assessment, but if it's somebody on the National Security Council, they're not even going to allow them to clear their desk out. They're going to go, get your ass to the door. We're throwing your shit in the trash. You bought this up, you put it in the Washington Post, and now the president's going to hear about it. Whereas they were probably lying to him the whole time. Everything's tits up, Mr. President. This is just awesome. We're winning, so much winning, Mr. President. We're going to rename the city of Bandar Abbas.
Chabahar, Bandar Abbas.
That's right. Trump, Bandar Trump.
It's but Malcolm, Malcolm, this morning when I read, okay, we can also look at it from the other angle. Find me someone that has worked on the Middle East in a substantial way for the last 20 years that would say anything different. I mean, they don't exist. I mean, it's all people that haven't been in depth on this issue that are talking this nonsense.
Yeah. Well, let's not give them the idea
it doesn't matter whether they're Republicans or Democrats or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just saying, let's not give them the idea of renaming Bandar Abbas to Bandar Trump. And because he'll take it. Didn't he already say that the Strait of Hormuz was, the Strait of Trump or something like that?
Yeah.
Where the guardian angels were the, guardian angels strait or something.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. This is crazy. Crazy with a capital. Crazy with a capital K.
Now we are talking about exactly.
Tourists.
But now we are at it, Malcolm and Wajeeh, with Washington Post. There's another article in Washington Post talking about the shortage of air defense resources, the shortage of long-range munitions.
Oh, yes.
And that's so what happened at the Washington Post?
The article said, they're committing journalism, and you know what's going to happen. Instead of taking the truth and dealing with the factualities on the ground, they're going to go on a witch hunt to find out who leaked this information. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So let me, I just want to point something out to you. While all of this is going on, some of you might recall about 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, Donald Trump actually said, it's okay if Iran has ballistic missiles to bombard their enemies.
Right?
Does any of you remember this? Do you remember?
Yeah.
He said that.
It's okay.
He said
Everyone has ballistic weapons. If Saudis want to have ballistic weapons, the Iranians have ballistic.
They need them. He said it's okay for him to have that, right? He didn't think it was okay to bombard U.S. servicemen. But oh my gosh. Next, now we're going to go to another component of this war. We're going to shift more into the geopolitical. As you know, Barack Ravid is the mouthpiece of the White House.
Yeah.
Okay. And Barack Ravid reported today, stenographing for, step for J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, and Stephen Miller and Pete Hegseth. They all sit in the room with him, and I think he just takes down what they say. He says the United States is now split between two tracks, and that they will only entertain two tracks of options. And this came out just a couple of hours ago. The new proposal is the Strait of Hormuz, using the Qatari proposal, the Strait of Hormuz would open on the north side and then the south side. Now, here's the kicker, right? Like, they think they're fucking stupid. The north side, anyone can go that way. You can go that way if you want. No problem. The south side will be open and free, and they won't charge anything, and the U.S. Navy will help you. And here's the kicker. Here's the part that is a little weird. They are saying, the White House is saying, they may not have a problem that they charge a more reasonable fee for the Strait of Hormuz. Somehow Trump thinks that 1.5% of your cargo, which is out of a $200 million cargo, $2 million bucks, is unreasonable. But
Well,
okay, now they there's more. There's more. The
Yeah.
reasonable fee once
Well,
charged
he
will be
wanted
transferred.
20%.
Yeah, he wanted
He wanted
20%.
20%
The reasonable fee once charged won't go to
when he
Iran.
was
It
in
won't go to
piracy mode.
Oman.
When he was in piracy mode.
Full piracy mode.
the first thing when he learned about the Iranians wanted to charge is like, oh yeah, we'll have a joint ventures with the Iranians.
Remember that? That the war was still going on when he said that. It was like 4 weeks into it, the 8-week war. He said that. We'll do a joint venture with Iran. He doesn't remember one day from the next. So listen, Isma, okay? This is black. Somebody said Black Jack Sparrow. No, he's not Black Jack Sparrow, all right? He's Orange Jack Sparrow. Don't be messing up the color black with that idiot. Okay. But wait, there's more. The money will not go to Iran or Oman. The money will go to the International Maritime Organization that will determine who gets it. Really? Really? You think so? You think so? You're going to come through my toll road. You're going to use my road. You're going to wear down my environmental fees, and you're going to take it. And this is where, I'm not joking. This is where Trump thinks he's going to be able to steal a cut. Like FIFA, right? They're going to give him the International Maritime Peace Prize.
Yeah.
He does. No, I'm sorry. Okay. If you can imagine for one moment, these are the people in the room: J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, and Trump in the Oval Office.
Oh, God. You could already smell how sweaty it is in that room.
From the flop sweat. These are the people making this proposal, almost like, hey, well, I got an idea. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And Barack Ravid's writing it all down. Okay, there's more. That was track one. The White House is saying they want this track.
And just
go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, just one thing, and we have to remember, to provide for the security. So, no drones are flying into your windows, etc., etc. That is Iran supplying that. So they're not gonna buy this IMO thing.
This is crazy. It's kooky. It's kooky talk. That's the only way to describe it. It's kooky talk. Okay. So the White House is saying that is track number one that they're considering, and it jives along with the Oman 10-day ceasefire proposal, right? But it allows everybody to get a cut of money, a little taste of that money. The second track that he told Barack Ravid was told, clearly sitting in the Oval Office with his little stenographer keyboard, was the United States will go back to a higher level of war, higher than the first 40 days, and that they will obliterate everything in Iran, and that those are the only two options. That's it. That's it. And like a good neighbor, Barack Ravid came right out, wrote that up in an article, and said, "That's it. That's the only two ways the White House will go here, is if you accept a ceasefire, then pretend like Trump opened the Strait of Hormuz, and they'll allow Iran to operate its Strait of Hormuz, and the blockade will be lifted, and everybody gets a little taste of that money." You know what I'm saying? So they think these people are morons. I'm sorry. As you said, people who've worked in this region their whole life, like all of us. This man is a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. And the first words that come out of anybody who has any sense of dignity should be, do you think we're fucking stupid? Do you think we're that stupid? The thing is, I want you to think, in the Oval Office, they're all looking at each other going, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
They'll
boss.
accept that because otherwise we'll bomb, and I'll let Whiskey Pete Hegseth bomb a lot. That's going to be the title of this subtext.
It's crazy.
Fuck me, they're dumb.
Yeah.
You see, like, this administration, God bless his soul and extend his life and make him very happy. Baba Trump, may his excellency, when they make decisions, usually when you have limited resources, you make sure you have viable strategic attacks that result in something. When when you use you use stealth missiles for a very, very specific reason. When you use bunker buster, you use that for a very, very specific reason. It seems like we've just been collecting any and every missile that we might have, and we've just been throwing it randomly at Iran, hoping to get something back. The reality is, this administration has spent more than $100 billion on this war. They need an additional $1 trillion for the military. They're asking for things that they are never able to achieve. And they are trying to conduct a war without their allies next to them. The United States usually has the European nations side by side. They can't operate fully on their own. And Trump has burnt all of his diplomatic bridges at this point, that no one, no one wants to touch this issue, because they know as soon as they are entering this war for Trump, they lose their sovereign right to control the military, their own individual military. So I would rather hold my own military, watch this get burned down, rather than getting involved myself as a European country. Why should I?
This is crazy. Okay, wait. There's more.
And as I can speak for the Europeans, I can say with 100% certainty,
delegate from Europe?
All the European decision makers understand. All the Europeans now understand that one insane demand will only be followed by the next insane demand. It
Yes.
won't help, to do something for Trump, because the next outrageous thing is going to happen anyway.
Yeah. Okay,
Exactly.
but wait, there's more. You guys thought I
Come
was
on.
done. Oh, you thought I was done.
That's we hope.
In the Department of, oh, now they tell me, in another interesting article, the Israelis have told the United States that Iran has moved all of its centrifuges to Pickaxe Mountain. Pickaxe Mountain, which, by the way, is next to the Natanz nuclear research facility, only it's a ginormous mountain. But here's the kicker, because I'm sure we attacked around it, but until this last month, I haven't heard anybody say that was going to be the main thrust of our combat effort, was against Pickaxe Mountain and dropping that mountain on it, right? Reportedly, in the Department of, oh, now they tell me, this move occurred last September 2025. Oh, now they tell me.
So
Okay.
after it had all been obliterated at Isfahan.
Completely obliterated.
Completely obliterated at Isfahan.
Apparently, they had been moving this stuff. So I find it coinky-dink, and you guys know my philosophy, right? Coincidence takes a lot of planning, okay? Well, I have some news for you. There's no planning involved here. But coinkadinkly, the Israelis just remembered this, or it just came out that that's what they're doing. All right. That this is that now it's all at Pickaxe Mountain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've
Justin,
yeah.
you just happened to mention this the day after, multiple four U.S. service members are killed. All
Yeah.
right. Because, oh, by the way, that Barack Ravid proposal that they had about attacking Iran with full force, it will be a joint U.S. Israeli attack if we choose option number 2. So technically, we're going to go back to February 28th, right? At the same time, the Israelis are saying,
Yeah.
no, really, this time everything is at Pickaxe Mountain. Somebody's angling to use a nuke.
Exactly.
Okay. That is, look, again,
It's
40 some odd minutes just to talk
madness.
about the fundamentals, 40 some odd minutes to talk about the fundamentals of warfare here, right? Of just the basic attacks and the stupid shit that's coming out of the Trump administration. In good news, Professor Robert Pape, philosopher of strategic air power, the man who designed the entire Iraq war plan, who said we are now going back up the steps of escalation, cycles of stupid on top of steps of escalation. He says the Strait of Hormuz won't open anytime before the midterm. That's now the Iranian strategy. Make them pay. Make them pay. Right? Keep this shit closed, break the
Exactly.
U.S. economy. Halas. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen.
And just
Yep,
to
go ahead.
underline, Malcolm, there is no evidence whatsoever that all these strikes are degrading the Iranian capability to launch missiles. Case in point, we've had within the last 48 hours these American attacks not only along the seaboard, but also in Tabriz, for instance, where one of the important missile bases is, and Pentagon is saying, "Oh, we're going to degrade the missile capability." And guess what happens? Within a few hours, the Iranians show that they launch missiles from these exact same places.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem that the U.S. Air Force can get at it.
Well, all I know is this. The last item, somebody said, hey, you ripped us off of the first 15 minutes. It's only been 30 minutes of nonstop bombing talk. They're right about that. The last item of news was the media has figured out, according to admissions by the White House and other organizations. Wait, what is this? Malcolm Dean Blundell says Amazon data center blown up in Bahrain. No, it wasn't Amazon's data center. That was another one. It was Batelco, Bahrain Telecommunications, and several data centers have been hit already. But the last bit of news is the United States is admitting that the attacks on Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar have wounded over 100 U.S. service members, killed 4, wounded 100.
Yeah.
So, by the way, wound means, your face is scarred and you lost your eye. Traumatic brain injury, your left arm is cut off at the elbow. You may have lost 2 or 3 appendages. When I used to go to Walter Reed Army Hospital, the original one back when Trump was doing his during the Afghanistan-Iraq wars, and I would park at the parking lot. By the time I got to reception, I would see 2 or 3, amputees there. The wounds does not mean, a small flesh wound in here or little bits of shrapnel. Usually wounds mean wounds, and these medical evacuation flights that are going to Germany are packed. Okay, so 100 people. Do you remember when they killed Soleimani, General Soleimani, and then the United States was attacked by Iran with ballistic missiles, and they had over 100 men and women had traumatic brain injury,
Yeah.
and Trump came
Yeah.
out. Trump came out and said, "That's not considered an injury to me." They cut all their benefits, right? cut all their benefits
Yeah.
because they said, well, the president ordered that was not, you were not wounded because it was not a visible wound.
Yeah.
Traumatic brain injury is punch drunk, right? Like you can, your brain literally turns to jelly in some areas. It's horrible. So, God bless those people who've been sent out there unnecessarily to be killed and wounded by this moron. Okay. So I'm going to push the question and answers over to Wajeeh's question and answer. Wajeeh, are you having question and answer day?
Yep, I will.
Okay. It's mainly because Jacob and I are outside in the nice weather, and I would rather us have stronger Wi-Fi, but I've got 5 bars of 5G here in France because they have really good European Wi-Fi, but I've only had one double espresso. So I'd like to get onto a second double espresso. So for
I
those of
have the
you
whole
who
can here.
oh, jeez, baby. Mid-afternoon, too. Hey, just FYI, I've got ducks. There's like ducks here, man. There's ducks waddling around.
Ducks.
So,
Ducks.
in fact,
Are these the
Just
king's
a couple of
ducks?
quick ones,
King's ducks.
Malcolm.
Yes, Jacob.
Just a couple of quick ones on Yemen. As we talked about yesterday, the
Ah, yes.
Houthis declaring that they would blockade the Saudi ports. That has now been specified. We've not seen exactly the impact yet, but the Houthis have specified that it's not only Saudi ships, but it's also other ships going
Tourists
to
everywhere.
Saudi ports
Yes.
that they will
Ah.
block.
Ah.
And they've also started broadcasting, these warnings for the ships, like their IRGC puppet masters do in the Strait of Hormuz. Just taking the more or less the same little speech there that they put out on the network for the ships. But we have not seen concrete attacks or concrete actions yet, to my knowledge.
Yeah. Can only get worse, guys. Can only get worse. And apparently we're going to worse.
Yeah.
So somebody asked, how well armed are the Houthis? They got everything the Iranians have. They've got some
Let me put
shorter
this
range.
into perspective.
Yeah.
Put it into perspective.
Yemen has the number 1 country weapon per capita, and then the U.S. comes second.
That's only because the culture requires every individual to have at least a knife on them, a khanjar.
No, I'm talking
They
about
all got
what guns.
AK-47s, though. They all got rifles or AK-47s. And the Saudis, Emiratis, and Qataris gave them a bunch when they invaded, and then they all got their asses kicked, and they left all their rifles there. So, I know where to get them in Aden. I know. Browning high power, baby. That's me. I can get that in Aden anytime. I definitely ain't going up to Sana'a anytime soon. Jacob, we need to go there just so that we can go to Mocha. Mocha.
Mocha, yeah, mocha.
Mocha.
Mocha. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Mocha.
Okay.
Mocha. Mocha.
Okay. Well, guys, this has been a compact but very informative discussion. Thank you, Jacob, for your discussion about Ukraine at the beginning of this. That was very helpful and informative while I was screwing around with the Wi-Fi, but not Wi-Fi.
It was Wajeeh's good question.
Yeah. Actually, it was probably the ear pods that were making the hearability problem a problem. Okay. Jacob, I'm going to get back to you because I need a favor from you. And Wajeeh, I don't need anything from you except for you to have your question and answer period. And I will come on your question and answer period if you're going to have it in the next hour or so. 11 o'clock, is that when you do it? Eastern
I
time?
do it in the 11 o'clock Eastern time. No, right now it's 9 o'clock Eastern, right?
It's going on 10.
Okay, then yes, I'm gonna
15
have
minutes?
it in the next 15 minutes.
Somebody says the show's too short today. What do you want, more bombing? You want me to spell out every little city that got bombs? The war is going on. We just gave you all the most important aspects of it, particularly this whole Trump wants the 2-track thing. And I don't know, but apparently he doesn't give 2 fucks about the oil industry issue anymore. Somebody asked about Lebanon news. The only Lebanon news, we talked about this yesterday, was a Lebanese army unit has filled in a space that the Israelis withdrew from, with M113s that are older than me. Okay, I'm 64. Somebody wrote, Malcolm, you need to penetrate us with the news. That started off bad when I was reading that. All right. So spectacular penetrations are Jacob's purview. So,
Oh, I have an interesting fact for you.
okay.
You know, or you remember the very beautiful Air Force One Qatar gifted Trump?
Yes.
It's officially out of commission.
Yeah, because they got to rewire it. First off, who's the moron? That plane shouldn't even have been flying. That you don't do 2 or 3 or 10 flights for Air Force One as shakedown flights. You do 100. You do 200. Then you take it through its turns. And they were like, no, don't make it bank hard. The chandeliers will bounce. Not joking. And now they're like, oh, it has no jammers. It has no interceptors. It has no infrared missile detection systems. And here's the kicker. They're trying to prosecute 4 journalists for this. Those systems are visible. When Air Force One flies by, you can see the jammer pods in the chaff ejectors and the flare ejectors. It is the equivalent of like 6 or 7 U.S. Special Operations C-130s all meshed together. It has all of the most advanced sensors of the Special Operations Deep Nation Penetrator aircraft. See, we got spectacular penetrations again. And none of that is on there.
All over.
None of it. None of it's on there. This is madness. Everyone involved in this should be prosecuted. And that jet seized property of the people of the United States and paint it back in the old paint color. And here's the kicker. When this is all over and done with, they're going to say, well, you repainted it, so that wasted money. Bitch, you spent $1 billion on a jet that you got $400 million from us on, and then you spent $1 billion on a ballroom. Don't even come at us with this shit, right? Next president, whoever it is, needs to be like Deadpool, right? Double fingers up all the time. You can go F yourself, okay? So, that's
Nat, you
horrible.
should run for president. We need someone
Yeah.
like you to just press buttons and say, that's it. Khalas.
I'll take a position in the administration in a heartbeat. I ain't running for, first off, I don't have the ego to run for president. Who's going to give me money? Nobody.
Either.
Okay, listen, guys, this was a great episode. I know we're a little short, but hey, the war is continuing. The details of what they hit, we will see in a few hours at 5 p.m. your time. There will be yet another round of strikes. Oh, Iran was throwing shit in the middle of the day yesterday. Pew, pew, over to Bahrain. Pew, pew, over to Kuwait. They didn't care day, night. They don't, when you start shooting ballistic missiles in the daytime while U.S. fighters are overhead, they don't care.
As
They
of
don't.
3 minutes ago, Kuwait and Bahrain are both under attack.
Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. Halas, Malcolm's show is almost finished. Launch the attack. Okay. We could literally be on live all day and have nothing to talk about except what gets hit. All right, guys. Today it is I will most likely be airborne tomorrow at the time of this show. So what I'm going to ask is a favor of one of you to take the lead. I will be doing the 33,000 feet thing where I will start the show in secret. Hide from the stewardesses. I'm on United Airline this time. They didn't have a problem with me. It was those freaking Air Canada people that really sucked. All right, like they had something to prove. But I will start the show tomorrow. If it is serious, as I warned you before, if the shooting, if like we have a mass casualty event of U.S. service members or other people, I will come on with a special. But if I do a special, It's serious. Just want to point that out to you. All right. Okay, guys. Thanks for coming. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to YouTube and then come over to malcolmnance.substack.com and subscribe to Substack. And you can get this live. You can watch it all you want over and over again without commercials. On Substack over on YouTube, it is advertised. That's not under my control. That's under YouTube's control. So thanks a lot for coming to today's episode. Jacob, Wajeeh, thank you for putting up with me at the beginning. And let me see. Tomorrow is technically Taco Tuesday. Oh, is today Taco Tuesday? Today's Taco Tuesday.
Today's Wednesday, technically.
Today's Taco Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday. Wajeeh.
Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Sucky now. It's only 10 a.m. That means Trump's about to taco out some point later today. We'll see.
They might be, yeah. I
Okay.
could see it.
But what we can say for sure, there's definitely nacho.
It is definitely nacho.
Definitely
Nacho.
nacho.
We're going to call this nacho every day. Because not a chance Hormuz opens. That's
Definitely.
what nacho stands for. All right, guys. See you all
now
tomorrow.
you don't only have for the Hormuz, you have Bab and Manda, which
We'll
is talked about yesterday.
We'll see about the Bab. Okay. See you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.